Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included. Here's a little reminder of the scenario settings, rules, and goals that we've got for our little series. Picking up where we left off, I just wanted to go over a few things. One, Drecos require hydrogen in their environment to reproduce whatever you shear off of them. So, I know this. I am having Drecos here until I get Glossies. Glossy Drecos are ones with plastic shells. There's a 15% chance that the Drecos I get lay glossy eggs, and I don't actually intend to produce all that much reed from this farm. It's a temporary farm. Two, let me fix my plumbing here. It was poorly designed in the best of cases. So I think what I need to do is I need to flush out the system first so I don't have sewage water going everywhere. So we'll get that going. Because I was missing this pipe right there. Tons and tons and tons of people pointed that out. But this isn't even how I want to design it anyway. So I'm going to redesign it. Let's see. Other suggestions. So Peter Wood suggested I use a liquid bridge, and that's how I'm going to build this. Crash mentioned I should feed these little guys sedimentary rock, because it's basically useless. I don't have any sedimentary rock, but I'll feed them for now sandstone instead. And work towards sedimentary. Oh no, I probably do have sedimentary rock, it's just in storage. There's a good way to figure out. Up here, you can see all of your minerals, and yeah, I have 8.7 tons of sedimentary. Perfect. So we'll get that set up. I'm just gonna sweep up what I don't want to feed them. All right, let's speed time up, cause come on now, someone do the plumbing. It's their break time, so I don't think they're gonna get to it. Oh, we have duplicate skills. One who is many, maxing out in construction. Congratulations. Another thing I could do is, Siona mentioned I can copy the settings here for the reed farm and paste it so that I'll automatically make the next one reeds, and I'll do that for the Wheezewort as well. Actually, on second thought, I don't know if I want 3 Wheezeworts. Yeah, that about covers all of the tips I got. Alright, come on, plumbers. Let's just build this stupid pipe. Alright, so what I said I was going to do this episode is to figure out a way to set up an Exosuit Checkpoint and to sort of get a way to process the slime. So as far as an Exosuit Checkpoint goes, this here would be a pretty good checkpoint spot. So once I get the things I want done. Yeah, here we go. Oh, another thing. The sieves no longer destroy heat like they used to. I obviously played this last when that was true, but it is not any longer, and I just wanted to make it clear that the game has changed. Okay, so let's redo this plumbing a little bit. I'm gonna kit up with 9s before the before any sewer water comes through. And what I'm gonna do is a liquid bridge that goes down and then across. And you'll see how this is different, and honestly just better. I don't know why I didn't think of it like this in the first place, but that's fine. We can always make improvements. Alright, so we'll get that built up. If we are to make this here our checkpoint, I'm going to need to mine it out. Let's mine it out in levels like this, so that we don't need ladders or anything. now that this is all dug up, I can also mine out the remainder of this to open this up for free space as well. Alright, so now we've got the liquid bridge, and this should come down and feed. And that is exactly how we want it designed. I might need 2 liquid bridges, honestly. What's the hold up here? Oh, because it thinks it's, okay. Fussy plumbing. Alright, so our miners are doing a pretty good job of clearing it out. Unfortunately, some of it was sand and it dropped. Okay, so now what this is saying is it prioritizes sewer water going down to the reeds, and then when not, it goes to the sieve. Some simple liquid bridging. There's too much liquid here to mop it. I'm going to dig up some space so that we can mop. Now, for the Exosuit Checkpoint, we are also going to need to pump oxygen, and it will require a lot of power. That's one thing that I'm going to need to focus on, is to update my power grid, because one of the problems is I am yearning for more and more power. Everything that I've been adding is going to require more power, and as a net result, we're going to have a hard time powering things up. Okay. Yes, that storage bin of ice doing wonders in terms of heat dissipation. Looking good. And then the Oxyfern, I could put the Oxyfern, like, down here, where it would actually go full-time, and convert some of this carbon dioxide. My worry is, yeah, there's some polluted water. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really matter exactly where I put it. I can't believe the amount of gold volcanoes I've got. It's pretty silly. So let's look at our kcals, bristleberries, about 11k. Okay, that's still pretty good. Alright, so let's take a look at the plumbing. As you can see, anything coming through the pipe prioritizes going down until down is full, and then it goes left. Meaning that these reeds will always be, if there is sewer water to be had, it gets filled up. Alrighty. So now that this is getting mined up, this is what the checkpoint looks like. You've got the physical checkpoint, which determines directionality of where they will put the suit. So you can think of a checkpoint a bit like a sink, where when they pass through the checkpoint, they are required to put on a suit. So a checkpoint is going to look something like this, where you have the checkpoint itself, and then a bunch of Atmos suit docks backed up, stacked up behind it. Something like that. Then we're also going to require, these Atmos suit docks are going to require, are we building it all of copper? Yeah, we're building it all of copper. They're going to require oxygen pumped into the suits and power. Ooh, another directlet. Yeah, I'll print up the directlet because the other two I don't really care for. And I'm hoping for a glossy egg. Now, if I do get a glossy egg, this entire ranch is going to be scrapped. What I'm going to do is... Rake mentioned that I really ought to get 96 spaces because each critter requires 12 spaces. So 96, the full-sized ranch allows you to have 8 animals per ranch, whereas right now this one's set up for 7. So I can do that. And then another thing I'm going to want at the Atmosuit dock is a water lock. And I'm going to build it right at the Atmosuit dock. And this water lock is to prevent the transference of any air between outside the airlock and inside the airlock. A very, very, very important step. No, yes, 1 second. Actually, I'm going to deconstruct this and move it over one. I forgot the dock right here. So this is the checkpoint. And then this bottle emptier, I could still use some of the brine I have left, although I won't have enough brine. So instead, I might just use fresh water. I have a lot of fresh water available. That's not what I meant to do. K. Okay. And then on the other side of this, what we're going to need is ore scrubbers. So if we go to... And this is to protect the colony from anything... You know, like quarantining anything that might be coming through our checkpoint. That also means that this ladder has to end. And I might just wall this up entirely. Let's do that in insulated tile. Alright, so it's saying unreachable build. And that's because this Atmosuit checkpoint is enabled and stopping because there's no suits available. Stopping people from going through the checkpoint. But I'm going to, for now, disable the Atmosuit checkpoint because I want them to work on here. So these ore scrubbers, as I mentioned last episode, they're like sinks, but for the for what is in your hands. Okay, that was a very weird way of explaining it, but I mean it's true. And they require chlorine in order to function. So what I'm going to do here is... Yeah. I'm going to set up another water lock. Over here. To get into this chlorine and to use it. It's hot, but I don't really care. As far as ore scrubbers go, I don't really care the temperature at all. So we'll put some ladders here like that and turn this into a water lock as well. Now, one of the other advantages is when you go through a water lock with a suit on, you don't get the debuff of soggy feet. So, like my water aquifer project that I have set up would be even better if I set it up so that it was behind an Atmosuit checkpoint, but it's a little too late for that. All right, let me turn this off, and once this water is filtered, we will dump it right back out into our aquifer, or our well. One of the advantages, of course, of using the polluted liquefiables, you know, the ices, is it helps to keep this nice and cool as well. It's an added benefit. because this water here is 64 Fahrenheit, and this water is 71. This water's colder because some of what's going through it is very, very cold water. Right. Flush time. Alright, so now we're building the yet another water lock. And it would make sense before I enable the Exosuit Checkpoint to set it up so that, well, I want a few more suits. Let's do at least 2 more suits so that we can fill it up. Because once someone goes through it, they pull the suit from the dock, and that's one fewer person that, or duplicate rather, that can go through the checkpoint. So only having one suit means only one person at a time can work outside of the colony. And obviously, I'd prefer if we had capacity for more than just the one. Alright, so I am going to put, let's do water here. And I'm going to enable auto bottle, which means they'll pump it from the pitcher pump, and they'll bring it to this bottle emptier. If I didn't enable auto bottle, it would only take fresh water that had been mopped up or something like that. And I really only need my fire pole down this far. I don't really need to go any further. It also means that any exploration that I was doing is going to be closed off, and this is going to be the only way to explore. There is a lot of polluted oxygen. I can fix this. Okay, so there's another suit. Let's deliver it. And we... Oh, apparently it's 2 suits? Yes, it is 2 suits. Great. So now that we have the suits manufactured, I'm going to plug these in. And then another thing I'm going to need to do is to pump and filter gases for the suit docks. So I'm just going to put a pump here and a gas filter, flip it. I'm going to have... Well, let's build this first. Alright. And then what we'll do is we have to set up the gas filter. Oh, it's gold amalgam? No thanks. We have to set up the gas filter to specifically filter for the oxygen that we want. And then everything else that isn't oxygen outgasses somewhere else. And we have to pick that somewhere else as well. And these ore scrubbers don't really work until the chlorine gets captured. So I'm very interested in capturing chlorine as soon as I can. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do is 3 separate ore scrubbers. And the reason being, if a duplicate is at an ore scrubber and it is occupied, they will just go to the next one, and if that's occupied, they'll just pass through. There's no queue, and that's a bit of a problem. With no queue, the only way that you can ensure that something's been cleaned is if you have enough capacity for your peaks, not just your average, if that makes sense. All right, so as far as ventilations goes, this air pump goes straight to the gas filter, and then the gas filter will filter out the oxygens. Alright, and then these aren't powered, they just need chlorine. I don't really need to add tiles in, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, so now it's complaining of insufficient chlorine. This gas pipe is going to grab the chlorine, eventually. We just need to set up an air pump for that. No power wire. Okay, yep. We're waiting. So this is what, like, an exosuit dock looks like. When my colony expands a little bit further, we could knock out this gas pump and gas filter and have 3 more suit docks. I would highly, highly advise you have room for expansion, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Because if you don't have room to expand, when your population goes up, inevitably, if you, when you add more dupes, you get to a point where yeah, I'm gonna have to put these back on priority because we're not fertilizing it. Someone in the YouTube comments mentioned that they won't be fertilized if I deprioritize it in the way I did. I didn't listen to you, but you were right, whoever you were. I didn't write it down, and I don't have a steel trap memory, so. Okay, so we have probably 1 more delivery of water to this bottle emptier, and we'll be all set for this water lock. So I am then going to disable auto bottle and then remove. Oh, yes, perfect. So we have a little bit of water left that I can then sweep up because I canceled it early, but obviously this is a full airlock. Now at this point, what I'm going to need is power running over here as well. And I don't want to enable my Exosuit Checkpoint until all this is built up. But we're now telling this gas filter that its orange output is fresh oxygen, and that let's do it like this. Have a little bit of gas bridge. Then everything else gets dumped out to this vent here. And that will be a completed Exosuit checkpoint. Alright, yeah, now it's getting fertilized. Good, good, good. Alright, I'm not going to bother with pickled meals anymore. Skill point earned. It is Angelia with super digging. Awesome. Being able to dig through everything. So once this gets built, you'll see that these little bars here will start to fill up with oxygen. If I go to airflow, or that's not what I meant to do. Ventilation. Here you can see oxygen being pulled. Now the thing is, I'm already not really generating enough oxygen, so I'm going to stick an oxygen diffuser, like as close to my oxygen pump as I can get it. And we have something new printable too. More hatch eggs, sure. Let's look at the other guys. No, I don't like anyone else. So hatch eggs it is. Ooh, we have a stone hatch and a sage hatch incubating here. These 2 eggs here. So the stone hatchling and the sage hatchling are... what was the chances of that? 15 and 5%. So here you can see the differences. The stone hatches or the regular hatchlings can morph to a stone hatchling, which eats this preset here. This diet is a little bit locked down, and it can eventually morph again to excrete metals, refined metals. And then the sage hatchling here. Get to the sage hatchling egg, or I can just go here. Sage hatchlings eat dirt and stuff like that, and excrete coal. And they can morph as well. They can also eat food, but, you know, they can eat algae, polluted dirt, so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool. I don't have an incubator. They take a lot of power, and they generate some heat, which is, where is the research? Right here, the incubator, which accelerates the hatching process. But I can just leave the egg... leave the eggs to sit there, and they'll eventually incubate. Here's the thing: is I've got plenty of hatchlings, so I'm going to create omelets of their eggs and of the Shine Nymph. So as you can see, the oxygen is filling up on these suits, and I could turn on the Exosuit Checkpoint right now if I wanted to, because technically, I have enough oxygen. It's better if it's full. Yeah. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to want is a gas pump. It doesn't really matter where the gas pump goes. How hot is it in here? It's not quite hot enough that I'm going to need, like, gold amalgam gas pumps. But, I'll put a gas pump here. Obviously, we don't have a valid path to get there. Not yet, at least. But we eventually will once I punch through the bleach stone. Yeah, as you can see, this oxyfern is helping to convert the carbon dioxide that got pooled here. Whoa, our liquefiables are filling up. So let's pump that out. I could have a hydro sensor to do this for me automatically. Oh, it looked full, but it wasn't as full as it really was. I could have a hydro and temperature sensor, and maybe sometime in the future when I want a complicated setup, I'll do that. A temperature sensor and a hydro sensor with an AND gate to make sure that when the temperature of the water there is not going to break my sieve. Oh, you know what? I need to intake now. That's my bad. I can't wait until I have plastics to be able to automate this. Yep. Alright, so now we've got oxygen diffuser. We are going to get some brownouts because I'm demanding more power of my power grid than we are supplying. Yeah, that was bound to happen. It's not that much of a problem, but it was bound to happen. Okay, it is hot here, and that's making them uncomfortable as well. Alright, come on, duplicates. And then at the end of this string of ore scrubbers, we would want to create a way to go down to the oil biome. Like, you know, a fire pole and a ladder for speed. And that also means that I'll probably want a checkpoint upwards as well. You can have one checkpoint that doubles as both up and down, but I usually build two. Just a little bit easier. One going to space, and one going to oil and magma and everything that's downwards. Alright, so at this point, we are going to go mine this stuff out. Oh, we can't get there because, yeah. There. That little dig errand will unleash this chlorine and the bleach stone. But the chlorine won't be able to... Oh, you're going to be stuck there, aren't you? The chlorine won't be able to go past this water lock. Oh, no, you were able to climb out. And it does mean that this chlorine gas vent will start to outgas, because there's more space for it, for the chlorine to take up. And they have to hold their breath while they're in there. But once this is built, our ore scrubbers will work. And then we can set up a way to contain slime, which is what we've been sort of working on the whole time. Alright. This Drecklet hasn't been sheared yet, because it's a Drecklet, not a Drecko. I'm hoping for glossy eggs, and, you know, if we get glossy eggs, I'll have to figure out a solution for hydrogen, but I could always electrolyze it. The electrolyzer converts water into oxygen and hydrogen, and then you can pump it, filter out the oxygen and hydrogen from one another, and you get, you know, hydrogen for your Drecklets. You can also feed hydrogen to the anti-entropy thermonullifier to generate cold, or there's a way to use hydrogen power, a hydrogen generator here. So there's a lot of different uses for hydrogen. Alright, so another thing that we're going to need in this gas pump, actually, I failed to set up, is a filter. Because we don't want just anything going to these ore scrubbers. We really only want... CO2. Did I break... Yes, okay, I broke the pipes in time. Good. Alright, so we're going to, or we only want chlorine. Sorry, I said CO2. So we're going to just dump everything that isn't chlorine on the other side of the airlock. And then these ore scrubbers will be taking in pure chlorine from a basically infinite source. Alright, so unbreathable, chlorine. And then if we look at ventilation, chlorine, all gases have different colors. So blue is the oxygen, black is carbon dioxide if we pump any carbon dioxide out here, and the chlorine is this green color. And now these ore scrubbers are filling up with chlorine, meaning that they'll be ready to be used. And what this allows us to do is if we have any blocks that are coming into our base to hypothetically go to any of our storage bins that have germs on it, the ore scrubber will kill those germs. I'm actually going to change this water lock a little bit. Nah. I was thinking of it, but it's honestly just more effort if I change it. So the power that the gas filter and the gas pump requires eventually will you know, we won't need to power it up forever because what will end up happening is the pipes will fill up and it will go idle. Dennis Keith. Everything you're passionate about, we have given you. When they fill up with their skill trees, I tend to take stuff that adds strength or athletics. So athletics would be suit wearing, exosuit wearing. Everybody having exosuit wearing is pretty nice. Tiding is kind of nice, but we don't have a doctor yet. So Dennis Keith, you'll be our doc. Alright, and if we look at the ventilation overlay, all of the ore scrubbers are now fully supplied with chlorine, and then this pipe will eventually back up, meaning that this will eventually stop. And the same's true for our Atmosuit docks. This gas pump will eventually back up. It will fill with oxygen. We're having relatively constant brownouts, which was to be expected, I guess. Yeah, let's clean up the loud snoring bedrooms as well. Yeah, so we're almost to the point where we're backed up. And then our power demands will dramatically decrease. You'll see that here in just a second. It'll say blocked pipe. Pipe blocked. And now it's no longer drawing power, as you can see. It is not. Which allows other things to be on. Skill point earned. Sine curve. Well, you are probably going to be our rocketeer. But it's going to be a while before we get rockets, so I'm going to do improved strength, as mentioned. So now I need to set up an area for our slime to be stored. Eventually, slime can be used for, speak of the devil, fried mushrooms. Eventually, you'll use your slime to fertilize a mushroom farm. So the way we want to store our slime is a way. It's probably yet another water lock. So what I'm going to do here is cut this section off from the... Oh, sine curve, you should not be on the other side. Because now that we have this airlock, and I can actually enable the building. Here, sine curve, you go over here. No, stop it. Oh my god. There. So now sine curve requires a suit. What we are going to want is to auto bottle water into the water lock here. And then I'm going to set up an area that's chlorinated for slime. So here we're going to have like fire poles. Maybe I'll just start the fire pole as a like representational, like, hey, this is where fire poles will be once we have more materials. But as you can see, everybody on the other side of this airlock is wearing a suit, and then the suits get deposited when we're done. So right here will be where we store slime. In this spot here. So slime, when stored in storage, will outgas much the way bleachstone does in atmospheres that are less than 1.7 kilograms of density atmosphere. So in order to kill the slime, I'm going to store it in chlorine that is pressurized. Now, the beautiful thing is we have pipes bursting full of chlorine just above where I'm going to store it. And then storing it here, we could have mushroom farms over here in this area, you know, when we want to farm mushrooms. So as you can see, now my current load, is a lot lower because these pumps and filters are sitting idle. How much reed fibers? Alright, I have 11 reed fibers. I'm probably not going to require that many more reed fibers for now, unless I do textile looming. So that might be something I disable soon as well. Just looking to expand my power grid a little bit. Alright, so the priority of this project here should be a little bit higher than everywhere else. And I think what I'm going to do is just a funky double waterlock. Like this, because on the other side of the waterlock, it will lead straight to an eventual mushroom farm, and I can have the mushroom farm in this area. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, that's enough liquid. Disable. Yeah, we put an extra like few hundred kilograms of water there. Yo, what did I just say? I said, quit it, and but they were holding some, so they delivered it. Which is fine, because we are going to want to deliver it over here. So with the double waterlock, like this, this here will be airtight. And we'll put a gas vent that will overpressurize, filling this area with chlorine, pressurized chlorine, and then we can store our slime in this storage bin, and it won't outgas, and it will kill off all of the slime lung on the slime, so we can have pure slime if we want. And there's other things that you can do with the slime. You can also, I think it's in refinement. You can distill slime into algae, which algae is used to diffuse into oxygen. And in doing so, if you look at it takes slime and power and a liquid output pipe, and it outputs polluted water, heat, and algae. It's something that you would use later. If you are relying on oxygen from algae, you would want a diffuser like that late in the game for when... okay, I have a new spot for an oxyfern. Late in the game for when you run out of algae. and if you're still relying on, you know, if you're at that point, if you're still relying on oxygen diffusers, you can use the oxygen diffusers by refining your own algae from slime, because obviously there's a lot more slime in the world than there is algae. Alright, so the oxyfern's going over here because there seems to be a well of carbon dioxide that I can fix. So having my diffuser over here as well would be good, because this is where we're storing the slime. So at this point, let's get this stuff mopped up, or swept up, and then enable auto bottle for water again. I don't love using water over and over and over, because it is a somewhat precious resource, but we have a lot of it, and I'm only using, like, you know, about a ton, but it's... Oh, here's a Drecklid egg. Great. Oh, here we go. So speaking of which, reed fibers, I'm going to pull up these reeds and break down this bridge here. I'm sort of done taking reed fibers in this way. In fact, I want to destroy all of this. All of this can be broken down. I don't need it anymore. So yeah, here's the oxyfern working to convert this carbon dioxide in full time. That frees up another wart seed. So let's figure out... Yeah, honestly, just right here where all the heat is, we'll just keep adding wart seeds until it's not that hot anymore. Doing a pretty good job. I mean, the liquefiables bucket is definitely helping. And I have 3 wart seeds? Oh, okay. Let's just try to tackle as much of this heat as possible. Alright, so the auto bottles... Let's set to 9. Okay, they're already set to 9, and we should start to dump here. And then once the water locks are done, we can hook up the chlorine. But, wow, I am out of time, everybody. So I wanted to thank everybody, Rake, Peter, Crash, and Sienna, for your feedback. If you got any feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I am excited to record next episode, and I'll see you there. Adios, all.